So let's kick off with a Platform9 overview, who we are as a company. We're a company we were founded in late 2013, early 2014, so we've been here for some time. And we were founded with a mission to democratize cloud computing. Right? So now you'll ask, what does that mean? Well, what that means to us is that we know as enterprises, they have a choice to run their cloud infrastructure at various locations, right? Maybe private cloud, maybe edge locations, maybe public cloud. But where we like to add value, where we see our USP, our unique differentiation is regardless of where you're running your cloud infrastructure, whether it's private or public or edge, we want to be the experts at enabling you or empowering the enterprises to run that cloud infrastructure at scale with the highest operational efficiency and, when possible, with the lowest costs. Okay, so those are the two things we like to specialize and focus on. And so let's look at our product portfolio from that perspective, and let's see how we try to add value there. So we'll start by taking a quick look at our flagship product, which is focused on private and edge clouds. And here, what we do, what's uniquely differentiated about what we do, is we take open source software, open source Kubernetes, but not just Kubernetes, OpenStack, as well as bare metal management component like open source Ironic, KubeVirt, etc. So we take these massively popular open source frameworks, and then our unique IP is we package them and deploy them through a software as a service, a SaaS hosted service model. Okay, so we manage our customers' infrastructure remotely through this SaaS model, and then we couple that with what we call our always-on assurance guarantee. And we'll talk about what that means just in a minute. Okay, so towards that first part, the kind of experience that we strive to give to our enterprise customers is no matter where your infrastructure is located, could be in a large data center, could be in thousands of edge locations, and we have customers that do both and at scale. All we want you to do is rack and stack that hardware, okay, power it on, plug it in, and then make sure you have outbound network connectivity, okay? And then from that point onwards, we like to completely take over your infrastructure remotely, no matter where it's located. So, and then we do things like remotely, we will configure your hardware, we will install operating system, if that's what you want us to do. We will configure it, configure networking. We use open source Ironic for that. On top of that, then we will deploy Kubernetes or OpenStack, depending on your choice. We will then configure it. We may deploy it with components like KubeVirt, so you can run containers and VMs side by side. And then above that, we deploy a thin layer of our PaaS services, which let you do things like ingress control or load balancing. We have advanced networking components that some of our telco or AI, ML customers use. And so all of this stack comes up in a matter of minutes or so and is ready for you to deploy your applications on top of. Right? So we really want you to use your private distributed infrastructure as if you're operating a public cloud. We want to give you that ease of use in terms of deployment and management of the software components of your infrastructure. Okay, so that's one. And then we want to couple that or pair that with what we call our proactive always-on assurance. Right? So what that means, this is powered by what we like to call our hidden product, right? The product behind the scenes that sits in the cloud, but it's always operating 24/7, monitoring your infrastructure, collecting metrics, gathering data. And the purpose of this component is that we are able to provide to you 99.9% SLA, provide to our enterprise customers, right? While operating on their distributed infrastructure. And so the way we do this is, let's say you have a Kubernetes cluster deployed, which is there on the right, and middle of the night, 2 a.m., an etcd node goes down. It's an incident. So the way it will happen, if this is a Platform9 managed environment, is that we're constantly 24/7 collecting metrics through our agents, metrics around performance, around heartbeats, around uptime, et cetera, and then gathering them through our management plane into our ops plane. And so when this event happens, a set of metrics would have flown into the Platform9 management plane, so we would have detected almost immediately that an incident has happened. We know exactly what type of incident it is. We have some remediation procedures that would kick in. So in this case, potentially restart the etcd node, see if it joins the quorum again, or try some other things to build back etcd quorum. If that doesn't work, then the next thing we'll do is immediately notify the customer that, hey, we have detected this incident, we're on top of it. And then behind the scenes, the operational plane will collect all the data, it will clear out the noise, it will create a Zendesk ticket, it will raise it to the support team. Because we are not able to do automated resolution, the support team may call product engineers on site, but so we are available and there 24/7. right? Now, this team that's on site knows exactly what's going on. It has all the data that the ops plane has collected. So it is in position to address that issue on behalf of the customer and solve it. Yeah.
So when you say immediate, are we talking 5-minute intervals or are we talking 30-second intervals?
So we gather, so there's different metrics that we gather, and we gather them at different frequencies.
Yeah.
The heartbeat, et cetera, is gathered at seconds intervals, and there are certain metrics, CPU, memory, et cetera, performance metrics, gathered more at 5-minute or so frequency, et cetera. So different metrics, different frequencies.
Got it. And just one more question. So
Yeah.
I see Prometheus up there. I just want to dive into it to confirm.
Yeah.
What else is being, or can you answer the question, what else is being used underneath the hood? Because Prometheus is just metrics, so like logs, traces,
Yeah.
APM. Is there other stuff underneath the hood in the management plane that's collecting all that stuff as well?
That's right. So there's Prometheus, and there's a remote write Prometheus agent that runs on the clusters, and that just funnels through all the metrics. And then we have log collection, which is, there's a part of the log collection which is collected from our management plane, and those logs actually get routed through our, so this connection, this is an always open, outbound connection. We use that to route some of our core log data as well, not about your containers, but our core data. So all of that gets synced into our Loki instance, that is the log aggregation. We also have Elk there. And so we have that data. In addition, customers can enable what we call our advanced remote support, where they will allow us to collect some of their logs as well. So they give us the permission to do that.
Quick question on logs. What happens if I'm a Splunk, Dynatrace, kind of somebody else from a log management perspective?
That's right, meaning you as a customer, you're using.
I've strategically decided I'm a Splunk from an observability perspective. Can I plug Splunk into that log aggregation component, or do I have to go with your stuff?
That's right, so you can't, but this is not under your visibility or control anyways. This is all behind the scenes, something that we operate and where we're collecting logs and using them for the triage and analysis that we're doing, right? If you want to pull some metrics from our management plane, so think of this as Amazon behind the scenes, right? You don't really get exposure to what they're doing behind the scenes to manage their infrastructure. So that is this part.
You're asking me to make it, and this is fine.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand and internalize. You're asking me to not only change kind of the control plane layer, you're asking me to change the operational management layer and put all my eggs in your basket.
No, not necessarily. We're not asking that.
And that's what I'm trying to process. So maybe I'm phrasing it wrong.
Yeah, no. So what we're saying is we're committing to you an SLA for your infrastructure. And here are the set of things that we do on our side, which you shouldn't have to, so that we're able to commit to that SLA. In addition, and most of our customers do this, they will still collect logs from the infrastructure, et cetera, into their central Splunk or other log aggregation service, and they'll review them. They have data log, everything else. But there is a set of SLA that we address and commit to them through our systems, which are almost a black box.
That makes sense.
You can use both.
Yeah, and
that makes sense. Thank you.
Another quick question. It caught my eye. I see console and Vault. I was wondering how that fits in.
So Vault is used for secret storage and management. Console, I'm not sure exactly what we use it for.
Okay. I'm curious to see how you all are using console.
Yeah. Interesting. I can connect with you offline on that one. But essentially, that's kind of the components of our ops plane. Primarily, what they do is collect metrics and logs, and then make sure that we're processing them and doing the right kind of alerting based on the severity of the issues.
It's your stack underneath the hood.
That's right. Exactly.
We're seeing it because it's interesting, but if we're engineers using it, we don't care. It's just whatever you're doing.
Yeah, you may not even know what components we use. Tomorrow we may change to something else. But
Yeah, what you see is the Kubernetes cluster, which is the right-hand blue box there. Yeah. That's running in your environment. Everything else is running in Platform 9. Yeah. And we're just collecting the data so we can operationalize on it.
Yeah.
And can I know this is not the core of your presentation, so I don't want to dwell on it too long, but I'm just curious, can I leverage your support team and your processes for application level monitoring, or is that you guys take care of the platform and me, the customer, I still do my application level?
So it's the latter. That's our commitment is towards the platform.
Got it.
Now, having said that, there are multiple times where we go out of our ways and also help you at the app level. And that's where we ask you to enable that advanced remote support so we can get container logs, et cetera. And we'll help you. Peter's team actually does that. We regularly help people triage their apps issues. But that kind of goes outside of our SLA.
Got it. Yeah. So if my application's getting, 5-second login times instead of the usual 1 second or whatever it is. That's on me to have that set up for observability and alerting. You can help diagnose potentially if it's a issue with the platform.
If it's an ingress issue.
Yeah.
Kubernetes is having a problem. We'll help you triage that.
Yep. Got it. Cool.
So if the customer's still responsible for their own app level monitoring and basically performance management, et cetera.
Yep.
Does the customer also get access to all of the lower layers of logs and metrics? Because you collect a bunch already.
Yeah.
Does the customer have to redo all of that and have their own monitoring set up for that? Or do you also export your data back to the customer?
So we export some parts of our data back to the customer on demand if they want it, right? So essentially, where we want to stand, though, is that we want to commit to that SLA for the infrastructure to them, and we say you don't have to worry about it, and anything you do is on top of that. But there are times where customer wants access to some of the logs that we collect, and we make that available. Or we also deploy separately from the Prometheus remote, right? We deploy a Prometheus on each cluster, and it will try to export the same metrics that we remote write to. So they then get Grafana dashboards, et cetera, out of box where they get to view and see those kind of built in. Because many times customers want that. Like you said, they want their own sort of visibility.
If it's more complex applications, they want to do full stack monitoring from the hardware all the way to the application. You need to open it up.
That's right. That's right.
Makes sense. Okay.
All right. Awesome. So let's move on. So that is that proactive assurance. So in a nutshell, when it comes to private and edge clouds, the two key differentiations we have is the completely remote managed software. So you don't have to be in the business of running management servers. And then the always-on assurance that is 24/7 guaranteeing that infrastructure SLA. And so here's some customers. We have about 15,000 plus nodes, active live nodes under management across the world today. Some notable customers include Juniper Networks, Rackspace, Cloudera, Sembanova, just a few examples.
Can you comment on how HPE are using your stuff?
They're using us. There's a department, there's a team within HP. They're using our OpenStack product actually for parts of their DevTest private cloud. Yeah, and they've been with us for a long time.